Episode number 84.
Hi, you're listening to the Careers Beyond Motherhood podcast with your host, Janine Esbrand. I'm here to help working mums like you to thrive in your careers and in motherhood. I share tips, strategies and inspirational conversations with awesome women to help reduce the struggle in your juggle.
Time for a say, Mummy.
Hello, and welcome to the show. How are you? I hope you are well. So over the last few weeks, I have been thinking about the direction of this podcast and all that I've been doing, and there are some changes afoot. We are going to be narrowing down our focus and focusing very much on supporting you if you are looking to make a career change or transition. A lot of the work that I've been doing with people over the last few months has been focused in that area, and I recognise that there are a lot of issues and obstacles that come up for people. So over the course of the next few weeks, you will notice on the podcast that we are going to be focusing in that area. If you're a first-time listener, then welcome. If you're a long-time listener, then you will know that the podcast is a mix of interviews with people and then solo episodes from me, and we will continue to do that, but our focus is very much on supporting people with making a career transition, because I think it's so important that if you feel stuck in the work that you're doing and you're not enjoying your work, that you have a plan and you have a strategy for you to be able to do work that you love, because life is too short to be getting up every day or every other day and spending time in an environment that you don't want to be in, or for you to be doing work that is boring to you or not feeling like you're able to make an impact on a day-to-day basis through the work that you're doing. So in that vein, I want to talk today about getting unstuck. Let's jump in. So I have a lot of conversations with people, either for my podcast or in my Facebook group, or potential clients or clients that I work with. And this comes up over and over again, where people are feeling stuck in the role that they are doing. So I hear things like, I am bored in my current role. I feel unfulfilled in what I'm doing. I'm frustrated. There have been changes to management and everything is different now, and I don't like the environment that I'm in. It feels toxic. Like, people come up with so many reasons why they want to make a change and they're not happy in the role that they're in right now, but then it just stays there. So they feel stuck, and they may have felt stuck for weeks or months or even years for some people, but then they haven't taken any action beyond that. They feel stuck. They know what they don't want to be doing, but then they don't really know what next. How do they figure out what is the right thing for them to do next? Where do they go next? How do they figure out? And because it seems so big and so hard to figure out, then people don't necessarily move forward. So I wanted to just share with you a few points around how you can move out of feeling stuck and move towards actually making that move into a role that is fulfilling, and into a role that does light you up, and into a position where you enjoy going to work and you enjoy being in the environment with your co-workers, and you feel like the time that you're spending at work is time well spent, particularly if you are a mother. Like, if you are a mother or a parent, as in mother, father, whichever parent, and you are putting your child in childcare to then go to a job, you want to feel like the time that you're spending away from them is time well spent, right? You want to feel like you are doing work that lights you up, that you enjoy, that is making a difference and isn't just about getting a paycheck. So these are the types of things that I hear over and over again, when people want to feel like they enjoy their life, they enjoy their work. We spend so much time at work, and if you've been following me for any length of time or seen my TED talk or anything, I say over and over again that life is way too short for us to be doing work that we don't enjoy. Here's what I see as being the problem for many people. So they know that this is where they want to be. So they talk about, what life would look like if everything was great, and in the ideal world, what that would look like. And then they know where they are now, but the issue is the bridge. How do I go from where I am now to where it is I want to go? So the kind of analogy that I would use is, I could say, I really want to go on holiday, and I know that I want to go somewhere hot. So I want to go somewhere hot. I want to have some vitamin D. I want to enjoy myself. I want a beach holiday. If I just stop there and say I want a beach holiday, but I don't drill down and pinpoint which beach in which country, in which region of the world, then I'm really not going to get my beach holiday. So I feel like for a lot of people, they stop at that point where it's like, I want to have a role that does this, this, and this. And then they don't spend the time to drill down and determine, well, what does that actually look like? So what is the destination that I'm working towards? Because if I don't know where I'm trying to get to, then I definitely can't build my bridge to get there. So I think the problem for a lot of people is they feel stuck, they feel frustrated, and then the first thing that they decide to do is jump online, scroll some job boards and look for opportunities. So in their frustrated state, in the state where they feel like overwhelmed, annoyed, they just feel like they're in a rut, they then go online and start scrolling for opportunities. And the problem with that approach is you go online and you scroll for opportunities. The likelihood is the opportunities that you're going to be drawn to are the ones that you think you can do. You're going to be drawn to the opportunities that list out either experience or qualifications that you already have. And so what you'll find is you'll be looking and you'll be subconsciously seeking for roles that you feel like you could actually do. But then what happens is the roles that you probably feel like you can actually do are going to be roles that are very similar to the one that you're in. Very similar to the one that you've been saying you're frustrated with, that you're bored at, that you don't enjoy. And so you can end up in a situation where you jump out of the role that you're in now. You might find a role that looks appealing, but because you haven't spent the time to really unpack what is it about the role that I don't like, or what is it about me that needs to be fulfilled for me to feel happy, then you can end up 6 months, 12 months down the line just feeling exactly the same, but in a new environment. So the first thing that people tend to do is jump onto job boards, and that's the thing that I would say not to do, because it's really important for you to take the time to understand, what is my destination? Where is it that I'm trying to get? And this is kind of the first thing that I work with people on when they go through the Career Clarity Academy, is start to raise the level of awareness about yourself. Understand what it is that would make that ideal. So when you're saying all the things that would make an ideal role for you, what would make that ideal and why? And understanding that. So essentially, you then have a framework. You have a filter. So you can say, well, these are the things that I know that I want. And now I've taken the time to understand why that's important to me. And I'm able to understand all the different facets of me as a person and how that impacts the work that I do and how that impacts whether or not I'm going to feel fulfilled in a role. And because I understand all of that, then I can say, okay, when I look at potential opportunities, which of these opportunities is going to help me to get to the destination? Which of these opportunities is going to help me to feel fulfilled, to enjoy what I'm doing, to be making an impact, to be making a difference, to be working in a great environment? So unless you take the time to really understand what it is you're looking for and why you're looking for it, then you're not going to be able to get to the destination. So I want you to really think strategically. If you're saying, okay, I feel stuck right now, I want to take some action. I don't want you to just feel like you're taking action by going and scrolling job boards, but actually take the right types of action so that you're moving towards the right type of role as opposed to just any role. Because my thing is, it's all about getting you to the stage of feeling great in the work that you're doing and being excited about showing up for work and not feeling like, oh, I'm just doing this for the sake of doing this. But one of the things that does come up, and I know it comes up over and over again for people, and what often holds them back. So you have the fact that they don't really know what the destination is. They're not 100% clear on how to get there. But one of the biggest things that holds people back is the fear of change. Because for many of the people that I speak to, and maybe for you, you might have been in the role that you're in for some time. It might be 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. And so the thought of you going from what you've been doing and what you're super familiar with and really good at, and moving into a different direction is scary. It's scary because you don't know what's out there. You don't necessarily know yet what you're moving towards, and you don't know what that's going to look like. You don't know what that's going to feel like. And so our human nature is to keep us safe, right? Our brain wants to keep us safe. So as soon as you start talking about changing things, your brain's like, no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Why are we trying to change? Let's just keep with the status quo. And that's why many people stay stuck for such a long time, because as much as they fantasize and they daydream about there being a change one day, they allow the fear of making that change to hold them back and keep them stuck where they are. So I want to encourage you, when it comes to that fear, to recognize that it's normal. It's normal to experience that, but acknowledge that and then make a decision as to whether you are going to allow that fear to hold you back from the lifestyle that you know you really want, and that would be amazing, or whether you are going to push past the fear, feel the fear and do it anyway, and get to the other side and say, you know what, that wasn't that bad, and I've now got this result. So a few things that can help you with that is to really look at people who have made the transition. Have you seen people in your industry or people in your network who have made a career change? And if you have, then why not have a conversation with them? Why not have a look at their transition, how it worked for them, how it's worked out? Because then you're able to start building some evidence, start building a case for the career change. So you may know that I'm also a lawyer. So in addition to a coach, I'm a lawyer. So I'm always thinking about what's the evidence? What's the evidence? So when it comes down to it, yes, you might feel fearful, but what is the evidence that you taking that step is going to turn into a bad thing? So think about ways that you can build up the evidence that can help you to push forward. So great example of feeling the fear and doing it anyway. So this last week, had a coaching call with the ladies who are in the Career Clarity Academy. So that's my 12-week group coaching program. And one of the ladies was sharing that she wanted to reach out to a particular person to ask them about their industry and where they're at and what they're doing in their industry, because it would be useful for her in terms of information gathering to see whether that is a path that she wanted to take. And she shared that she was so nervous about having the conversation. She was going back and forth in her mind as to whether or not she was going to speak to this person. It was a whole thing that she had in her head, and she was going back and forth. And then she thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. So she did it. She had the conversation. As much as it felt uncomfortable, after the conversation, she got some really good feedback from the person. And then she was like, I'm so glad I did that. I'm so glad I did that on so many levels. One, I've made a really great connection and potentially a referral. We never know where that might go. And two, I've proved to myself that I can do those hard things. I can push past the fear, do it anyway, get to the other side and say, that wasn't that bad. Because what she was saying is she actually reflected on it and said, it wasn't actually that bad. As much as I felt anxious before, having the conversation was actually okay. So sometimes you have to challenge yourself to do those hard things, even if it's the small things, because the more and more you do it and the more you challenge yourself, the more and more you get confident that when I do hard things, I get good results. So I want to encourage you that don't allow the fear to hold you back. So essentially, when it comes to getting unstuck, there's a few different things that go into that, right? So firstly, getting unstuck means that you need to really think about, well, what is it that I want to do? Where is it that I want to go? And understand why you want to go there. What are the different elements of the destination that are important to you, so that when you're looking at opportunities, you know what your filter is, you know what it is that you're working towards. And then you really want to look at, like, what is holding me back? What is really holding me back from moving forward? And address that, acknowledge it, and then make a decision that you are going to move forward. Because if you've painted the picture of where it is you want to go, and you're saying, I really don't enjoy the life that I'm living right now, and this is what I want, then you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth it to push through? Is it worth it to keep moving towards what will be my new goal, my new dream? Or should I just stay here and in a year's time or 2 years' time just be in the same position and wish I would have made a move sooner? So ask yourself that. Now, if you are someone who is committed to making a career change, I would love for you to come and join my Facebook group. So I've recently narrowed down my focus. So I was previously helping women with their careers beyond motherhood and different aspects of that. But over the last few months, I've been helping women make career changes, and I have seen some great results with the ladies that I've been working with, and I'm loving this kind of focus. And so my Facebook group has recently been renamed and changed. And so the focus of the group is for those people who are aspiring to make a career change, and they want to do that by leveraging their current skills and experience. So I like to help people to see how they can change career direction without necessarily having to retrain. I think one of the things people think is, oh, if I change careers, I'm going to have to go back to uni, I'm going to have to go get a master's, I'm going to have to go study. That's not necessarily the case. And so in this group, I'm going to be helping people to identify how they can make the transition in a more simple way. So the group is called Career Change Made Simple. If you want to come and hang out with me and the other ladies in the group, come over. If you go to lightboxcoaching.com/join, then you can come and request to join that group. So I hope to see you on the inside. I'm going to be sharing lots more around career change and what we should be doing and how we can get more focused to get results in that group. So I hope to see you there. If you enjoyed today's episode, I would love for you to head over to iTunes or whichever app you use to listen to your podcast and leave a rating and review. I love reading the reviews that come through from listeners, and to be honest, the more reviews that we get, the more people are able to find the show. And I want to grow our audience so that we can help more people to find work that they absolutely love. So I would really, really appreciate it if you took a moment to leave a review. And that's all from me this week. So until next time, look after you and look after your little ones. This podcast features music from Ben Sound.